Hello and welcome to the Logic 2000 Introduction and Parsing tutorial. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to log into Logic 2000, give you a brief overview of the main Logic 2000 window, and show you how to use Logic 2000 to solve parsing problems. Let's begin. When you start Logic 2000 for the first time, you'll see a window that looks something like this. Just click OK here, unless your instructor has told you what to put in for these other options. So we're going to click OK. And in a moment, the main Logic 2000 window will appear. From here you can go into the various problems that can be solved through Logic 2000. Tutorial will be working on the parsing problems, so just go ahead and click on parsing. And another window will pop up. Now in this window, you'll see a number of buttons on the bottom. You'll mostly be using the select button, the check button, and when you're done, the close button. Select button is used to open up a list of problems. So let's click on that, and you'll see the problems for this chapter at the top, chapter 1. And let's go into the first problem, problem 1. Let's double click on that, and here's the problem. It's very short, Z, and you'll want to guess whether this is an official notation, informal notation, or not well formed. Let's say you guess that it's not well formed. And you click on that, and a little black circle will appear to the left of it. Now you can click on check, and on the left hand side here it'll say incorrect but complete. You'll want to get this to say correct and complete. And once both of these say correct and complete, then on the upper right it'll also say correct, and you can go on to the next problem. So because this is incorrect, we want to choose one of the other options. Now you can use the process of elimination to get to the right answer, but I suggest that you try to figure out this on your own instead of just simply making random guesses. Always try to figure out why it's wrong or why it's right, and if you can't figure it out, just ask one of the TAs or the professor about it. So since we know that this is not well formed, it must be one of these other two options. So let's try informal notation. Click on check, and it's still incorrect, and complete and incorrect up here. So because it's incorrect, it must be official notation. Let's click on that and click check, and it turns to correct and complete. And once both of these say correct and complete, on the upper right hand side it says correct, and we can go on to the next problem. Let's click on select here and say yes to save the problem, and we can move on to the next problem. But before we do, notice that the first problem has now turned a green color. And if the problem's turned green, that means that you've saved work on it and your work is correct and complete. The problems that you haven't saved any work on at all are going to be black. And the problems that you've saved work on but are incomplete or incorrect are going to be red. So when you turn in your homework, you'll want to have all the problems that you were assigned green. And all you have to do to show your homework to the professors or to the TAs is to show that the problems that you've been assigned have turned green, and we'll know that you've done it. It makes it a lot easier for us and simple for you as well. So let's go on to problem number 2 here. Just double click on that, and the problem right here is P arrow Q. Now is that an official, informal, or not well formed? I'll just save the guessing for this problem and say that it's informal, because the problem is well formed, but it doesn't have the outer set of parentheses that problems in official or formulas in official notations have. So in this case, once we click check, it'll say correct but incomplete. Okay, so correct means that it is in fact an informal notation, but incomplete means that we haven't broken the formula into its constituent parts as much as we can. And we generally do that by just clicking on the connectives between the letters. And once we've gotten to just the letters without connectives, then we're done with the problem. We can go on. So here there's only one connective, so it's pretty simple to choose which one to click on. And that's this arrow right here. So go ahead and click on that. It'll turn blue briefly and drop down into its two parts, which are the P and the Q. So once that's done, we can just click on check, and we'll see that it's complete, because there are no more connectives that we need to click on to break this up into any more parts. It's broken down into as many parts as possible. So now, once this says correct and complete, and in the upper right it says correct, we can just go on to the next problem. Just click on select here, save the problem, and go on to the next problem. So let's go to problem 3. Now here, again, I'm going to save the guessing and tell you that it's not well formed. And when we click on check, it will say correct and complete. Now, even though this is not well formed, we know that that's why it says correct. You may wonder why it says complete or there are connectives here. Well, that's because all not well formed formulas are complete in that they can't be broken down any further because they're not well formed, basically. If you click on any of these little connectives, then they'll just turn red and won't break down any further. And you could have just started out by clicking on these connectives first on the right and seeing that they can't break down any further, and then you'll know that it's not well formed. But I suggest that you don't do it this way, and you just start on the left and make your guess as to whether it's official and formal and not well formed. And only then, once you've gotten that right, work on breaking down the problem, because you'll learn more this way. So, once we've finished this problem, we can just go to the next one. And I'll just do one more. Here, this problem is official notation, because it's well formed and the parentheses that the formula could have on the outside of the formula are present. So now we'll want to break this problem down into parts, and we want to click on the outermost, or the connective that'll break this down into its outermost constituent parts. And that connective in this case is this middle arrow. But say you clicked on one of the others, they'll just turn red, meaning that those are the wrong connectives. Those are kind of inner connectives, not the outer connective. The outer connective in this case is this arrow right here. And you'll learn which are the inner and outer connectives just by doing a lot of these problems. So this is broken down into its two constituent parts here, but there are more connectives left, and just by clicking on them, we'll break this down even further. The not P breaks down into P, and the Q arrow P, once we click on the arrow here, will break down into Q and P. And now there are no more connectives, and we're done. Just click on check, it will be marked correct and complete, and you can go ahead and save this by clicking on select and going to the next problem. And I'll let you do the rest yourself, and I'll see you in the next tutorial.